Hey, hello, and welcome to the first episode of our CSS for Beginners series here on Prime Code Media. My name is Sana Mabena. In this episode, I'm going to show you how you can use inline CSS to style a web page. And to do that, I'm going to use a website that I built as part of our HTML for Beginners series. Please feel free to check out this series and then come back, rejoin us, and let's continue. Now, to build this website, I used Atom Code Editor. I've already opened this HTML only website inside my browser. Let's just check it. Let's refresh and see if it's working. Everything is fine. Now, Inline CSS is used for applying style to specific elements of an HTML file. This is done by applying CSS directly to the element that needs to be styled. Now, to do that, you will use a style attribute inside that particular HTML element. And this is because the style attribute can contain any CSS property. As you can see in this example, the targeted element for styling is the H1. Style attribute is used, and then style attribute, as I said, contains can contain any CSS property. In this example, the property or that thing that we want to change or style is the color, and then we want to change the color to what? To red, and this becomes the outcome. This is just an example of how inline style will look like on an HTML element. Now, time for practical examples. Let's say, for example, we want to change the background color of our web page. If we want to change the background color of our web page, there has to be a specific element that we are going to target. In this case, the element that we will have to target is the body. Why the body? This is because everything that you see on this web page here is inside the body. So by styling the body, we are automatically styling the entire background here. So let's see if this will work. Let's use the style attribute, which will allow us to write CSS code. We are changing the background color. So this is the property, background color. Please make sure that you write color in American English without a U for it to work. And then we'll use a colon. And now the value, we want the background color to choose the background color. I'm going to use this website called colorhunt.co. There are many other websites that you can also check out to pick up your favorite color palette, but I'm using this one because I actually must admit that I like colorhunt.co, and this is because they have a very extensive list of color palettes. There are many options. You are not limited when it comes to options, and the other reason is that you don't even need to sign up or anything. It's open source, so that's why I would prefer this one, but feel free to choose anything. So this is colorhunt.co. I'm going to try to pick a color that is not too bright, but again also not too dark. So let's see which color we can pick up here. Okay, how about we go with this one? Okay, I'm going to click on this one, and then I'm going to click on it right here to copy it. It's copied. Let's go back to our text editor. Right here, I'm going to paste the hex code, but for the hex code to work, we have to make sure that it's preceded by a hashtag sign, like so. Now let's save our work, go back to our browser, and then refresh. Look what happens. Now the background color has changed. Okay, now we were able to change the background color by using inline CSS. And we use the inline CSS by targeting what? The element right here, which is the body. We use the style attribute, and then the style attribute, because it can contain any CSS property, we were able to specify the property and then specify the value, and the end result is this new background color. Now let's have another example. What if, for example, we wanted to style this H1 here? Maybe we want this text to look somehow different from how it looks at the moment. What we will have to do is to target once again a specific HTML element, and the HTML element that we will have to target this time around will be this H1. And again, we will use the style attribute, and then using the style attribute will allow us to inject CSS into this H1 element. We want to change, let's change the font of this text here. All right, let's say font family, and then let's see how it looks if we change this to Arial, which is a different font type from what we had previously. Let's save our work and go back to our browser. Now here's how at the moment the text looks like. Let's refresh and see if there's a change. Now it has changed. Now once again, we were able to style this H1 differently using inline CSS, and we were able to inject this this CSS into this element by using the style attribute, which is able to carry any CSS property. Now that's all well and good that we are able to style individual HTML elements using inline CSS, but what if we wanted to style multiple HTML elements? For example, if you look at this website here, there are quite a number, there are multiple horizontal rules. So as you can see, there are these lines, these horizontal lines, there's quite a number of them. What if we wanted to change their size, or we want to just style them differently? To do that using inline CSS, we would have to inject CSS into each and every one of these HTML elements. So for example, we would have to come to this one horizontal rule here, inject the CSS into it, and then locate another one, come down here, here's another one, and then move on and look for the other one, and then try to scroll down and locate the other one, the third one, here it is, and then and so on and so on and so on. And I must say this will be a very roundabout way of doing this. So there must be a better way of doing this. And what's the solution? The solution is internal CSS, which we will discuss in our upcoming episode. Please make sure you don't miss out on that episode, where you will see that the internal CSS can assist us in terms of styling multiple HTML elements. And that brings us to the end of this episode. In this episode, I showed you how you can use inline CSS to style HTML elements. And as I said earlier, you can do that by targeting a specific HTML element, and inside that specific HTML element you'll use the style attribute, and the style attribute can contain any CSS property, and in that way it allows us to inject CSS into HTML elements. Thank you so much for watching. Please make sure you subscribe to this channel and click that bell icon to get notifications when new videos come out. Until we meet again next time, take care. Goodbye.